Hello, and welcome to New Beginnings Start Today, the podcast for people who want to grow deeper in their faith in the Lord. I'm your host, Dr. Douglas Keffer, a minister, clinical pastoral counselor here in Roanoke, Virginia, with a passion for helping people to live their faith. Today, we're going to talk about marriage is for a lifetime and how you can trust God to keep your marriage safe for a lifetime. Let's get started. I recently sat in a counseling session with a young man who said this to me: Dr. Keffer, I really respect that you and your wife have been married so long. I thanked him for the compliment, but then I went on to share with this young man clinically that God intends our marriages to last for a lifetime. My wife just read in the newspaper about a couple celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary. They were married in 1942 and have lived together as husband and wife for a lifetime. That is the goal that my wife and I have, to be married 70 years. She'll be 91 and I'll be 90. Not a problem. We will celebrate our 52nd anniversary on the 20th of March of this year. What a joy. My parental grandparents were married over 70 years. I have a great heritage to follow, as I saw the way my grandfather took care of my grandmother, and to see his commitment to her blessed my life. I can remember getting the phone call from my dad that my gramps, as I called my grandfather, that he had passed. Then I learned that he died in a chair, sitting beside my grandmother, who was in a hospital bed because she was so sick. He would not go upstairs to go to bed because Grandma may have needed something during the night. It was difficult for him to go up and down the stairs because of his health. He sat down in that chair and went to sleep, worn out from taking care of my grandmother so faithfully, and he went to be with Jesus that night. My grandmother knew that she had truly lost her heart keeper, and she never stopped pining for him until she went on to be with him in Jesus not too long after my grandfather's death. I will remember always them sitting with each other and my grandmother patting Gramps' hand. What fond memories I have watching him care for my grandmother. They did it for a lifetime. I have their wedding picture sitting on the double chest in our bedroom. I wanted to reassure this young man that he and his wife are going to be able to do the same as my wife and me and my grandparents, but it is going to take the commitment on their part to do several things consistently in order to achieve that milestone. King Solomon tells us what a healthy marriage should look like when he writes, "Drink water from your own cistern and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets? Let them be only your own, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth. As a loving deer and a graceful doe, let her breast satisfy you at all times, and always be enraptured with her love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman, and be embraced in the arms of a seductress?" Proverbs 5:15 through 20. This admonition from King Solomon talks very plainly of the importance of fidelity in marriage. This is the reason that Moses wrote Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Genesis 2 and verse 24. God instituted marriage with one purpose in mind, and that is when a man and a woman exchange nuptial vows, they are to honor those vows for a lifetime. Till death us do part, as it says, quote, unquote. Solomon stresses how this kind of relationship can be achieved when he says, drink water from your own cistern and running water from your own well. The focus is on building a loving relationship between yourselves and make sure that the stresses from outside do not overtake the beauty and wonder of your love for each other. You have to guard that love for each other every day. One of the biggest stressors couples face today is the demands that their jobs put on them. Where you work can be very stressful because there seems to be more demands or responsibilities placed upon you all the time. Then, another huge stressor can be family finances. The cost of living just seems to keep going up, but your income is not keeping up with the increase in the cost of everything. Just the increase that you see in your grocery bill is amazing. The demands of parenting are also real. What you face in seeing what your children are being bombarded with at school, with their peer group, and social media is critical for you to stay aware of. Teaching them good Christian morals to set in place the values that they can live by is imperative for them. They must see that you are living by those same values and not expecting them to live by those morals, and they see a different behavior on your part. That cannot happen because of the effect that it has on your children as they grow up and leave your home and begin to live their own lives. Now, husbands, let me ask you, how have you assured your wife lately that you and she are one flesh, which goes beyond sexual intimacy? Wife, how have you done the same for your husband? The first thing that comes to your mind as you think of that question reflects on how well you're doing with this. When you understand that having this kind of relationship takes work on a daily basis, you will begin to see the blessings of trusting God to give you the wisdom to focus on how you are going to love each other in a way that allows yourselves to understand that you are being loved that way by God. It is a magnificent experience that love from God that gives you a start, and as you start your day with each other. Taking the time to grow that love by how you interact with each other, and not allowing the busyness of your day to usurp the joy of smiling at each other, giving that warm hug and kiss that pulls your hearts to one another, doing things for your spouse that you know that she or he really likes, that tells them that they are of the highest importance of how you see going to start your day, and that you are so glad that they are a part of your day. You are going to first have to learn how to pray with each other, and to do that regularly. My wife and I practice this every morning. I will put breakfast on the table, and before we take our first bite, We take each other's hands and pray with and for each other. We actually have a list of prayer requests and people that we are praying for every morning. This time of prayer begins with us praying with each other and for each other. We thank God for the many blessings that we see Him give us and has given us over all of these years. That leads us to praying for our 2 sons and their families, asking God to bless them with the blessings and love that we see Him giving us every day. This leads on to praying for specific things and for specific people that need God's care. It is such a blessing to know that God listens to our prayers every day, and even more wonderful to see those requests being answered because of His love and care for us. Then setting aside time each day to just sit and talk with your spouse is also imperative. Talk about how God is truly blessing you and how you saw Him at work in your life. That can be such a blessing, and it is such a blessing. My wife and I often talk about something that we saw happen in our day and make the remark, well, that's what we prayed for. When you learn how to share things with each other because you talk with each other, communication becomes so much more effective. You really feel that you are truly connected to each other. Then, husbands and wives must learn how to respect each other. Couples learn all too fast their spouse's weaknesses and faults, but you have to learn to focus on the positive things about your spouse that you can respect. I am so blessed with how my wife is committed to my well-being. She has supported me over all these years in ministry that has truly blessed my life. It has not always been easy with the demands that ministry has placed upon us. The respect that she shows me is truly a blessing to my life. I also believe that she would say the same about the respect that I have shown her and the wonderful Christian woman, Christian wife, Christian mother that she is. She truly knows that I would do anything for her to ensure that she is taken care of. You must also model your convictions to your children. Your children will be so blessed when they see that you live by the morals and ethics that you say that you believe. When they see that conviction on your part to love their mom or dad the way God intends you to love them, they will believe what you tell them as a mom or as a dad because they see that you live your beliefs. The blessing of your marriage can be seen in the legacy that you leave for your children. And that legacy is they will see that you are married for a lifetime. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I want to invite you to contact me and share how you are committed to your spouse and that will and has and lasted a lifetime. If you are seeing this on YouTube, please check the subscribe button and the like button. Also click on the share button and share it with all your friends. That would be so helpful to me. Tell me about other issues you would like me to address by leaving your comments, or you can email me at drdouglaskeffer@gmail.com. Until next time, God bless each of you.